Hi, I'm Mike Gant, and this is episode 15 of Biblical Living. And I want to talk to you for a few episodes about the teaching ministry of grandfathers. And to do that, I want to start in the book of Genesis. You might say, well, I'm not a grandfather. What does that have to do with me? Well, you want to be, don't you? Of course you want to be. You want to be a father and you want to be a grandfather. Well, what if it's too late in life for you to be a grandfather? Then be the friend of a grandfather and help a grandfather. Why? Because the generations to come, that's what we're here for. We're running a relay race and we're trying to get as far down the track as we can to help them. And we want to live our lives not looking out primarily for ourselves, but looking out primarily for the ones that are coming after us. So let's read from Genesis chapter 1 and start with verse 14. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made the two great lights, the greater light to govern the day and the lesser light to govern the night. He made the stars also. God placed them in the expanse of the heavens to give light on the earth and to govern the day and the night and to separate the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. So I've just read to you what happened on the fourth day of creation, 6 days of creation that first week. And on the last day, man was made, male and female, and the seventh day was a day of rest. So this was the fourth day, and let's zero in on verse 16. It says, God made the two great lights. The greater light to govern the day, that would of course be the sun, and the lesser light to govern the night, that being the moon. Okay? Got it? Fourth day, God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. These two great lights, the sun, the greater light, and the moon, the lesser light. Okay? All right, now let's skip over to Genesis chapter 37. And we're going to read verses 1 through 11. This is from the story of Joseph. Now Jacob lived in the land where his father had sojourned. Isaac was Jacob's father, in the land of Canaan. These are the records of the generations of Jacob. Joseph, when 17 years of age, and Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob. When Joseph was 17 years of age, was pasturing the flock with his brothers, while he was still a youth, along with the sons of Bilhah and the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought back a bad report about them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his sons, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a varicolored tunic, or, as is probably more often said, a coat of many colors. His brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, and so they hated him and could not speak to him on friendly terms. Then Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. Well, let's find out what the dream is then. He said to them, "Please listen to this dream which I have had. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf rose up and also stood erect. And behold, your sheaves gathered around and bowed down to my sheaf." Then his brothers said to him, "Are you actually going to reign over us?" So they hated him even more for his dreams and his words. So the favored child causes all this sibling rivalry. They're all jealous of him because he's got dad's favor. and they hated him. He was trying to please his father, and that made them hate him even more. Verse 9, now he had still another dream, and related it to his brothers, and said, lo, I have had still another dream. Joseph, I don't know. And behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. He related it to his father and to his brothers, and his father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream you have had? Shall I and your mother and your brothers actually come to bow ourselves down before you to the ground? His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the saying in mind. Jacob thought to himself, well, God might be in this. I don't want to just disregard this. But the brothers were too consumed with jealousy to have any type of productive thoughts. But isn't this interesting that Joseph tells him this dream about the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to him. And when he related it, his father rebuked him and said, what is this dream you have? Shall I and your mother and your brothers? So Jacob knew that the dream referred to the father and the mother and the brothers. So how widely known this was, I don't know, but it seems clear that there was an understanding here that God was speaking into. Joseph did not have to explain what he meant by the sun, moon, and the stars, especially since there were 11 stars and he had 11 brothers. And we see the sun and the moon, the greater light and the lesser light. That's the father and the mother. And a reference to God's order in the family, that the father is the place the buck stops. He's the one who starts the family by seeking and finding a wife, and then the two of them become joined in marriage, and that children are the natural result of that. The father has the greater light because he has the greater responsibility. He is designated to provide for that family, to protect that family, and to grow that family. And the wife is his helper, his partner, his called alongside him. People get all wrapped up in trying to defend God's order. We're not saying men are supposed to be over women and stuff like that. Well, no man should be abusive or haughty or condescending toward a woman, especially if he marries wisely, because if he marries wisely, his wife is going to be very capable, very intelligent, and not his inferior in any way. There's just an order there for it to work. So it's like ballroom dancing. The man is leading, but you can't tell because they're moving in concert. They're moving together. He's letting his wife know how he wants to move, just like like they're holding hands, maybe a little slight this, and touch of the hand. And so she knows, okay, we're going right here. I'm going to twirl there, or whatever it happens to be. If you've seen ballroom dancing, you can see how graceful it appears, almost looks effortless, but it's not. But this thing about sun, moon, and stars was a depiction of order in the family, and therefore in society. The sun, moon, and stars came to be a metaphor for the governing authorities. As it applied in family, it applied overall. And, that's what the Bible is, a record of analogies, of metaphors. And God designed physical creation knowing that he was going to be using aspects of physical creation to teach about unseen things like character, virtue, morality. Okay, well, that's all we've got time for today. We're going to use that as we go forward, but we need to appreciate the fact that when God creates something physically, there are going to be things to learn spiritually from that. And here's a case where we understand that this particular part of creation, the sun, the moon, and the stars, becomes a very useful metaphor for understanding lots of things in the Bible and in life itself. Thank you for listening.